Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, distinguished Google guests. I should speak to the, you see? Okay, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks, Basil. Good morning, distinguished guests, and good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. I'm not going to lie, I'm very excited about today. I'm excited because people always say, why is she traveling everywhere? What's going on? And people don't appreciate that to form these partnerships takes a long time. To negotiate with brands like yourself to come to us in this part of the world takes a bit of work. But I'm very excited because what today really means for all of us as Eswatini is this is the beginning of the great things we've been talking about. And those things lie in particular areas that are really important to us as a country, and I think that it's important that we restate them. When I first began in this job, some 12 months ago, the starting point for me was to say, because I had to go and get a passport, and I had to go through the whole process, which was really good, because it made me understand. And there were lines of people, old people, young people. And I've always hated lines anyway. And I understood right there and then that the starting point is, how do we give the people of this country dignity? You know, when you stand in line, your dignity is taken away. You don't seem like a taxpayer going to get what you've duly paid for. You seem like a beggar going to beg for a service. And if that person on the other end of the giving of the service is in a good mood, the line may be faster, you may get the service faster. How do we make government visible but invisible? You bring it to the people, you ensure that the people are able to get every single service in the most convenient, fast, and secure way. And so that was the start of the journey to say, how do we get that to the people? That when they are sitting at home, they're notified a month before the passport is due, that your passport is due. That they can apply for that passport in the comfort of their own homes. That that passport can be processed, having verified that particular person through a biometric that you utilize, and it's delivered to them, whether at home or at a place that's convenient to them to be able to pick it up. And so the thinking was we take every single government service that we have today and potentially want to have in the future, and we bring it to the people. And when I look at the relationship we're forming together, the starting point becomes Google addresses, digital addresses. How do you ensure that in a country where sometimes addresses that are the traditional addresses don't exist, you're able to give that to people? How do you ensure that you give people an education with a brand like yourself and skill them up, whether to work with government, to open up their own businesses, and also to be able to get jobs that are jobs of the future? Because whether we like it or not, the jobs that we have today, almost 50% of them, if not more, will not exist tomorrow. So how do we use this training platform to get our young people, of whom we have some 70% who are 35 and under? Oh, you cannot hear me? Can you hear me now? Okay. So it wasn't me. It was the technology. I hope I never have to say that when we put government in your hand. But to be able to ensure that we are continuously training them and preparing them for the future world. We cannot attract investors into the country when we don't have the skills base we require. And so when we have an academy and we're able to train our children, we're able to then ensure that they are skilled for jobs, for life, and anything in between. I'm also very excited that we are getting into the area of firsts, PS, that we are the first country in Africa to be able to work with Google on workspaces in the government space. I really, really appreciate that. You know, one of the things we're also pushing is to be a country of first. of firsts. To be able to say, how do we work in proving up concepts? We're opening up ourselves to say, how can anybody anywhere in the world know that if you want to be able to look at a process and prove up a process, we're open for business for that. But also, anybody established, we're open for business. We're looking to be able to be a power access country, because we know AI, we know data centers require power. So how can we be a power access country so that people can be able to know that if you're looking to invest in a country like ourselves, you'll never have power problems, which is a big issue in the coming world. I'm also excited because one of the things that I've been saying to the PS for a while is, we've been talking about government in your hand for a year, the past year, trying to get the brand out there, if you will, and the understanding of what it is. And this year is the execution year. We're going to have Google, we're going to have our partners from the UAE, we're going to have local partners and young local partners, the 35 and under again, the target market as I always call them, to be able to participate in the creation of their own futures. This to me is highly exciting, because I think as those who are over 30, I'm 32, those of us who are over 30 sometimes are frightened by the younger ones. It's a different future. It's so different from how we grew up. But we must be open to this future, because it is there, it is coming, and the sooner we are proactive and we get in front of it, the sooner we can be able to adopt it in a manner that is comfortable for all of us. We all know that when something is punitive, it's very, very difficult to be able to absorb. I'm also thankful for the time taken by yourselves to really see this relationship as important, because brands like yours work in France and New York, in all these parts of the world that you've mentioned here that you've done various work. I'm excited by the menu of things that we're going to be working on. Even areas like archiving you were talking about, it falls smack in the middle of what we do. Even areas that look at large language models is where we are. So we are really looking at this relationship as a great relationship for Eswatini, for the continent. We want to be a leader in the area of AI and digitization. And many people will say to you, you're only 1.2 million strong. We're looking for 65 million, 100 million. I'm still convinced, and no one can shake me from this conviction, that good things come in small packages. And we are the small package that will show the world, and Africa especially, that we can do digitization, and it will ensure that our economies grow, our youth get jobs, our youth create jobs, but most importantly, we will lead. We're always following. We're always the last. But there's an area where we did lead. When cell phones came into the world, the adoption in Africa was the fastest because of the young population chronologically. So we are convinced that this digital world that we're going to go into will enable us to really move the needle in ensuring that this space is safe, it's secure, and it's fast. And the other thing that it's going to do for us as a country is, all of a sudden, we're going to lead. And we need to lead. And we must lead. So this relationship is so utterly important. And I cannot thank you for the time taken and the hard work behind, and Tarun and you and your team, and the miracles that you are performing back in your offices to get us all set up. I will never tell you, and you will never appreciate how much I really, really appreciate it. It's the beginning for all of us, but I can tell you this, it's not the end. This country thanks you for coming. I thank you for coming. We're going to engage in life-changing things. And the reason I stand in this job is to do life-changing things. Because as human beings, we're our brother's keepers, and we must ensure that we leave a better world for the next generation. Thank you for everything, and thank you for this time. We're going to make Eswatini even greater than it is today. I'm not a MAGA person. Thank you.
Wow. Wow. How